What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dollar Mike back at it again with another video for you guys today. Another personal finance video, because that's all the type of videos I do here on the channel. Occasionally you might receive some other stuff, but in today's video we're going to be talking about the topic of credit and actually credit scores. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can increase your credit score fast, just because having a good credit score will do you a great benefit in life. It'll get you those loans easier, those car loans, those house loans, those apartment loans, maybe even insurance. You might get better rates and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about all that in today's video. I'm actually going to show you guys my personal credit score, and then we'll go about our day. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the video. Let's go. So your credit score actually comes from one of three different credit bureaus. Those three credit bureaus are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. On top of that, your credit score may be calculated differently depending on which actual credit bureau it's coming from. So if it's coming from TransUnion or Equifax, it might be calculated in the Vantage Score 3.0 system, or if it's coming from Experian, it might be using the FICO 8 model, and I believe we're on the FICO 10 model coming soon, and it's not released yet, but it should be coming soon. Either way, if you're doing pretty well with your credit, or you actually need to make changes with the categories I'm going to mention today, then you'll be all good to go no matter what model is being used at that given moment. So to generally go and review my credit score, I actually use an app, a free app, and you guys might know, you might not know. Either way, that app is Credit Karma. Credit Karma is a 100% free app that you can go and download, and they actually use the Vantage Score 3.0 to calculate your credit with TransUnion and Equifax. You can check your score on there at any time, free of charge, and it doesn't impact your credit at all. It's simply for you to use as a tool to help you better yourself when it comes to actually improving your credit score. And if you want to improve your credit score fast, then you need to do some of these things that I'll mention in today's video. You can also go and download the Experian app, since Experian is not on Credit Karma, and you can use that as well. That's 100% free as well if you want to use it. Either way, I have Credit Karma and the Experian app, so it works out. But let's actually go on over to the Credit Karma app. I'll show you guys my score, and I'll also show you guys the full breakdown of how you can improve your credit score fast right here, right now. So let's go ahead and open the Credit Karma app on up, Face ID, and we're in. And you can see right in the opening of the app, it'll tell you exactly what my credit score is for TransUnion and for Equifax or Equifax, however you want to say it. And right now it is 764 for TransUnion and 762 for Equifax. You can then go ahead and click on that, and that'll give you a full-blown breakdown of your actual credit score. You can see your estimated credit score, which for mine right now is 764. You can also click on see what's changed and actually see what's changed depending on your credit, depending on how you actually use your credit cards, maybe your home loans, whatever you have loans in, something like that. Below that, you can see your score history, and below that is what we're going to focus on today, which is the credit factors. We're going to start off the list right at the top here with payment history, which is a high impact to your credit score. And how high of an impact that might be, that is actually 35% of your credit score. So your payment history is bad, then your credit score is definitely going to take a crazy hit. If we go ahead and click on payment history, it's as simple as it gets. With payment history, simply a 100% on-time payment history is a good sign for lenders that you can reliably make payments. So basically, every single month, make sure your bills are paid for in full every single month when it comes to credit cards, or just make sure your loans are actually taken care of every single month, at least the minimum payment. You do not want to miss any payments when it comes to your payment history. If you do, you miss one single payment, then that red to green bar you can see will probably drop my score down from 100% to 99% as far as on-time payments. If I miss one single payment, I'll probably drop down to 99%. If I miss about 2 or 3 more payments, I might drop down to 97% or 96%. If you have a 96% on-time payments, sure, 96% on a test, solid, still an A, you're still passed with flying colors, but 96% when it comes to credit is not that solid. You don't want to miss any payments, and if you are missing payments, then that's a key factor to why your credit score might be low, and that can only improve with time as you would get more on-time payments to overall average that out. Or you can go ahead and call whatever loan provider to see if you might be able to get that late payment that you made removed. If you can go ahead and do that, that'd be golden. If not, then you simply have to wait this one out. You simply have to just pay on time every single month. Do what you gotta do, pay for your bills, because you want a solid payment history. 35% of your score goes to this. The next factor on the list is actually credit card utilization, or basically utilization in general. Right now you can see my utilization is 2%, and this is also a high impact. This is actually 30% of your score. So if this is bad, then your score is probably not that well off either. Either way, with credit card utilization or utilization in general, wow, that's a long word to say, I feel like. With that, you want to make sure you're not maxing out your credit cards. If you are maxing out your credit cards, all the credit cards you may have, or even one credit card you may have, if you are maxing them out, then to lenders, it looks as though that you don't know how to manage your money properly, or you just don't have enough money to begin with, so you go ahead and start charging everything. There's nothing wrong with charging everything. If you guys know me, if you guys know me personally, or you guys have been following the channel for a while now, I have 7 different credit cards. I really don't use debit cards, and I charge pretty much everything because there's tons of benefits for using a credit card over a debit card. But obviously, when I go ahead and charge all those things on my credit cards, I go ahead and pay them off in full every single month, or sometimes even pay them off within the next couple of days. I don't let these things linger. I don't let these things sit. I don't pay for any interest or anything like that because that's an extra fee that you shouldn't be paying for, because credit cards are simply tools to get you even further. Credit cards are leverage, and you can use them that way, and you'll be happy about it. Either way, with your credit card utilization, the goal is always to have a credit card utilization, overall utilization, under 30%. So if you have a $1,000 limit on a credit card, you may say, then only spend $300 max on that credit card, and then make sure you pay it off in full every single month. But only $300 max to be spent on that credit card. If you want to spend more, then try to get a higher credit limit, and we can talk about that in a separate video. Personally, for me, I try to stay 10% or lower when it comes to credit card utilization, but that may be hard to do if your credit limits are low. If you're only spending 10% of a $1,000 credit limit, that's only $100. And honestly, using a credit card, $100 is not that much value you're going to get out of that credit card. But if you have a $10,000 limit or a $9,500 limit or a $7,000 limit, then you can obviously spend a lot more without actually reaching that utilization bump or the utilization point where you shouldn't really go over. So overall, try to increase your credit scores, get those up, and we'll make a video talking about that, obviously, but you get the whole point. Keep it under 30% if you can. I like mine under 10%, and this is 30% of your score. So if this is bad, your score is probably not too hot either. The next factor on the list is another high impact one. There's no actual percentage of how much this will really impact your credit score, but you really don't want any of these on your credit score at all, on your credit report at all. So 0 is where you want to be. Even 1 might ruin your credit. Either way, that is derogatory marks. And if we go on into derogatory marks, we can see there's 2 options right here, and that's for collections and public records. Basically, this is when you just simply don't pay your bills. If you don't pay your bills for a long enough time, the lender might actually go ahead and send that bill on over to collections, and then they'll go ahead and report that to your credit, which looks really bad. You may have the money to pay, you may not, but you definitely do not want it to go to collections or get reported on collections or public records, because like I said before, it would drop your score tremendously off of just 1 derogatory mark. Now, obviously, the easiest way to avoid this is to simply pay your bills in full every single month. But even if you can't pay your bills in full, because sometimes I know things do happen, even if you can't pay your bills, at least try to make the minimum payment. If you cannot make the minimum payment, then make sure you call your lender and let them know that you cannot make the minimum payment for this month, and maybe they can work something out with you so you don't get pushed over to collections. And either way, I think you have to go about 90 days, so at least like 3 months before they even try to push it to collections or public records. So you do not want it to get to a point like this. Just call them, let them know you can't make the payment for whatever reason it may be. You can't do it. It's simple enough. They might say yes, they might say no. If you're gonna do this every other week, then they're probably gonna be like, nah, we're not worried about that. But if you're just doing this, if you're a great customer, you've been paying your bill in full every single month, or at least the minimum payment, you've been doing that for years straight or even months straight, they might not worry about it. But if you're doing this every other week, then I highly doubt they would care. Either way, you don't want to get to this point because it stays here a long time unless you can get it removed through one of these credit card or credit repair companies, which is a hassle in itself as well, and you have to pay for that. So no, don't do that. Just make sure you pay your bills on time, minimum payment, and if you can't do the minimum payment, call them and let them know. Either way, there you go. The 4th factor, according to Credit Karma, is a medium impact to your score, and that is actually the age of your credit history. This is about 15% of your credit score. The current age of my credit history is about 3 years and 2 months, and obviously you can see I have an older account where I've had for about 6 years and 9 months, and then my newest account is about 8 months old. So the average age of my account, when you actually go ahead and do the math, basically you add them all up and you divide them by how many you have, is 3 years and 2 months. There's not much you can do to improve this other than just waiting it out. Age of credit history is simply that age, so you have to let your credit age. Once your credit ages, it simply looks better on a credit report. So as you can see, under 2 years is in the red zone, 2 to 4 years is in the orange zone, 5 to 6 years is in the yellow zone, and then the green zone is 7 years or more, basically. And overall, a great way to actually do this if you're actually under the age of 18 and you don't have any credit is actually ask your parents if they're actually responsible with credit, because please do not ask your parents if they're not responsible with credit and they don't have a good credit score. Please do not have them put you on any type of credit loans, because that will ruin your credit, and it will ruin your credit before you're actually able to use your credit. But if your parents are actually good with credit, then ask them to actually add you as an authorized user on one of their credit cards. You never have to actually use the credit card, because I doubt they'll actually let you use it anyway. But if you go ahead and let them add you as an authorized user, then you're actually building your credit under them as an authorized user. So when you go ahead and turn 18, you already have a little bit of credit established for yourself, and that's exactly what you want. The fifth factor to your credit score is actually total accounts, and this is pretty much a low impact to your credit score. This is about 10% of your credit score, and if we actually go on in, we can see right here that I have about 14 different accounts. 13 of those accounts are open right now, and that's basically split between my student loans and my credit cards that I have, and I have one account right here, as you can see, is closed, and that one credit account that was closed was actually my car loan. I actually paid my car loan off in about 9 months. Make sure you check that video out. It's a solid video, and hopefully when I get the next car, I can pay it off pretty fast as well. Either way here, lenders simply like to see that you have a variety of different type of credit. So that might be student loans, that might be a car loan, that might be credit cards, store cards, maybe some other type of installment loan, that might be a home loan. So all those different types of things, if you have them all bundled into one, this is basically the total accounts tab. If they're all bundled there and you're making solid payments on them every single month, you don't miss any payments, anything like that, then it looks really good to them. You know, overall, having all of this debt basically isn't all bad debt, because at the end of the day, it shows them that you actually know how to pay for debt. You maybe you pay a little bit more every single month, or maybe you just pay it on time, which is fine with them. Look, as long as they're getting paid interest on top of you paying your principal, they don't really care at the end of the day. So if you're making these payments and everything looks good to them, then you'll be all good to go when it comes to this. And like I mentioned before, this is only 10% of your score, so you don't need to go out of your way to go get a car loan or a house loan or a student loan just to satisfy a need like this. Is not that necessary. Don't put yourself into debt to overall increase your score just a little bit, or 10%. It's not really worth that. Overall, if you have a score 760 or above, I think you'll just be fine. Having an 800 credit score is definitely overrated, and it really doesn't get you any much better than having a 760 or higher really would get you anyway either. The last tab on the list today is another low impact credit factor, and that's basically hard inquiries, and this is about 10% of your credit score. As you can see, I have 3 hard inquiries on my account right now, and essentially hard inquiries are basically when you just go and apply for new credit. When you go and apply for new credit, they actually pull your credit score. It might be a soft pull or a hard pull, but usually if you're actually getting a credit card or most loans, it's going to be a hard pull, and that'll result in a hard inquiry. They might not pull from TransUnion, they might want to pull the score from Equifax, or they might pull that score from Experian. So it's all completely up to the lender. So make sure you actually do a little bit of research on a lender before you go and apply for some type of credit with the lender, and find out where they're actually going to pull it from, because you might have a high score with Experian and a low score with TransUnion. So that means you would want them to pull it from Experian so you get the best rate possible. Either way, when you go ahead and get your credit pulled, you'll get a hard inquiry, and overall, it's nothing really wrong with too many hard inquiries. It's not really that big of a deal, but it doesn't look that good if you're going out and applying for all these different loans every single month, or all these different credit cards every other month. I personally suggest, at least when it comes to credit cards, to try to see if you can actually get both of those out within the same month or within the same time period. Overall, getting a new credit card every single month is just going to put another hard inquiry on your account, but if you do it all at once, then you only are going to get maybe 1 or 2 hard inquiries. It makes more sense that way. Now, when it comes to a car loan, I can see things being a little different, and as far as a home loan, definitely not. Do not do that at all. Definitely consult with some type of professional as far as that goes. I'm not 100% sure about the home loan thing, but I'm pretty sure they don't want you going and trying to get credit from every different avenue every other month when you're trying to actually go and buy a house. And the housing market is kind of trash right now anyway, so I wouldn't buy one right now anyway. But it is what it is. That's not the point. Regardless, these hard inquiries stay on your account for up to 2 years, and they pretty much fade over time. I would say after about 3 to 6 months, your score is already back up to where it was before. So it just sits here for 2 years just to, I guess, show them that, yeah, I took a loan out on June 17th and another one on August 12th and another one on August 11th, and that was when I actually got the Apple Card and the Uber Card basically back to back, because I felt as though it makes more sense to do it that way. Instead of my score dropping 3 separate times, it only dropped once that month instead of it dropping 2 times over 2 different months, if you see what I'm saying. Either way, not that big of a deal. 10% of your score, something to think about when you're actually going to get certain credit or whatever you need to get, but nothing insane. And there you go. That's a full-blown breakdown when it comes to your credit score based on the Vantage Score 3.0 model. Like I said before, the FICO 8.0 model is a little bit different, and the FICO 10 model that's coming out soon might be a little bit different as well. But overall, if you're good in those aspects of things, you'll be all good to go. Your payment history and your credit utilization is the 2 most important things. That is 65% of your score. So if you have a lot of credit card debt or you're missing payments and stuff, once you stop doing that, then you go and pay those things off, or you just get right when it comes to actually making payments on time, I 100% guarantee you your credit score will start flying. It's as simple as that. Pay down your debt. If you literally have no credit card debt, there's no reason for your score to be anywhere near the 500s or low 600 range. Once all that debt's paid for, guarantee you're already in the 700 range by that time. Make sure you don't have any derogatory marks, because that'll kill your score instantly. Your credit age is about 15% with that one. Just make sure you actually just he'll hold all those credit accounts, because when you close accounts, your score might drop as well. So if you have a long-standing account, make sure you keep that one open. As far as a credit card or something like may go, when it comes to a student loan or something like that, no, go ahead and pay that down. Especially if the interest rate is over 5%, you want to make sure you're paying off interest above 5% anyway at any given moment, because you don't want to pay for that. It's just extra money coming out of your pocket. Come on now. Your credit mix and your new credit are both low impact, and it's about 10 to 20% of your score. Nothing crazy to worry about, but overall, just make sure you're paying your bills on time, in full, every single month. Payment history solid, no late payments, make the minimum payment at least if you can do it, call the lender if you can't do it, all the kind of good stuff. You'll be all good to go as far as your credit, and you'll be all good to go as far as increasing your credit fast. So if you have any questions, make sure you let me know down in the comment section below. I've been doing this for some time now, and this is the first time I actually showed my actual credit score, at least on Credit Karma. It's basically the same thing on Experian anyway. But yeah, let me know what you think of the video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit it with a like button. If you have any questions, like I said before, drop it down below. We also talk about credit in my Discord, so that's a 100% free Discord. Link will be down below for that. We talk about all different personal finance topics, but we can talk about credit in there. We also talk about investing, saving, budgeting, and anything basically relating to money. We kind of got you covered in there. Check out the Patreon. The Patreon is just a further support channel for the channel. So if you're interested in that, thank you very much. And that's basically it. Thank you for watching the video. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. I'm out. Dollar Mike. Peace.